Hey, my name's Sean. Welcome to Echoes in Eternity Bourbon. Trying something new today out of Baltimore. Let's see what we got. So, today I have in front of me Sagamore Spirits. This is a rye that's done in a sherry cask. This was actually contributed. Thank you, Eric Andrews, for this. He actually got this bottle for me. I've never done a video on any Sagamore stuff. I've got some Sagamore stuff, just hadn't done it yet. But I thought this would be a perfect time. I've kind of been in a rye kick lately. I don't know if it's because I'm excited for football season, cooler weather. So maybe that's part of it. Also, big shout out and thank you to the community out there. I had mentioned, there was an interesting bottle that I was kind of interested in, which, was another smoke wagon, was a store pick. I was out of town this weekend. I thought I'd get there Friday, didn't get to it. They sold out. But the thing that was kind of disturbing to me was I saw a bunch of this on secondary for twice the price really quick. So people were just flipping the bottle. I made mention of that in the last video. I had a couple people reach out to me and were like, look, I can get this for you. I've got an extra bottle for myself, or, I could trade, something at fair trade value. I actually got a trade worked out for the same exact price point. I'm going to get a bottle to someone and then kick up a few bucks to make sure that it's even. Truly appreciate you guys. You guys do an amazing job of helping keep me on things. And Eric, thank you for this bottle. So looking forward to trying that. Sagamore Spirits, I know that they get their juice out of Indiana. It looks like they're bottled in Maryland, it looks like. So maybe Baltimore area, I think is where I saw on this. So very interested to try this out. Never had this before. 106 proof. So distilled in Indiana by Sagamore Spirits out of Baltimore, Maryland. If there's another product of Sagamore that I really need to look after or try, let me know. I know I've had a lot of people say these are really good bottles, and I've been sleeping on these, and I need to get on them. So interested to see what else I might have. As you see, Monday evening, I had to start with a nice pour. Monday was one of the Mondayest Mondays ever, but it's time for a nice pour at the end of the night to be released tomorrow. It's got a beautiful deep amber color to this, and I'm sure it's because it was in the sherry casks. I think it's been 18 months in sherry casks. So they take their rye and they put it, I think it was a 132 gallon barrel, sherry cask barrel that they put this into, and let it sit in there for 18 months. So right off the bat, I'm getting some fig on this, and I'm a big fig person, so I think that was really neat. Getting a little bit of the rye spice, getting some herbal quality there. It's got some good oils coming down the glass on that, just fingers just streaming down the glass on that, so I like that right off the bat too. I think this is getting more of a brown sugar note than anything on there too. Get a little bit of ethanol, but not a whole lot of ethanol on this, so might be a little bit youthful, but let's dig into this, see what we got. That was very interesting. I had it and I was just seeing how it felt on my mouth, and I wasn't getting like this huge sensation of any one flavor. But as soon as I swallowed, it's like I get everything all at once. So definitely got some fig in there. Definitely get some dark fruits in there. Got the rye spice. Very nice mouthfeel. I mean, it didn't burn me up at all. Felt good on the tongue. But as soon as I swallowed it, it's like all of a sudden the explosion happened. So getting some good rye to it. It's not a super overpowering rye spice to it, but it's that nice little creep up on the back of your tongue after you've had a nice swallow. I'm getting, I thought on the nose I was getting brown sugar, but on the palate I'm getting something a little different. I would say that this is maybe more of a little bit of a burnt sugar on it. There is some youthful notes to it, but I don't think it's like overpowering youth in there. I think some of the sherry cask is bringing in some very interesting complexities to it. So you're getting some of the dark fruits, you're getting the burnt sugars, getting a little bit of dryness on the back from some of the oak. Not getting a whole lot of tobacco, but getting just a tiny taste of tobacco on the back. Getting some of the herbal notes from a rye. Getting a little bit of a cooling. It's not like a super minty cooling, but as I'm breathing in and out, I get a little bit of like a mint cooling that just kind of like that wintergreen, just kind of moving across the palate. There's just something interesting about that, I guess, the sherry cask on this, because it first almost starts like a bourbon, and then you kind of get into the rye. So I'm thinking maybe that sherry cask is kind of like dominating a little bit of the front palate, but then you're getting the rye on the back, which I really like. From the herbal notes on this, there's some herbal notes that I don't like. It's kind of like the super medicinal herbal notes. But this has kind of a nice floral herbal type of thing going on with it. So I'm getting a lot of different things in this, which I really like, neat, complex type of bourbons, even though it's still kind of a younger thing and you can kind of get a little bit of the youth out of it. You're still getting a lot of complexity out of it. So you're getting a proof that, you don't really feel that 106 proof on it. I would think that it's probably drinking somewhere about a 90 proofer. So it's drinking a bit under proof, at least 16 points under proof. You do get a little bit of the ethanol in it, but you're also getting a lot of extra flavors that I like into it. Kind of getting that burnt sugar going on a little bit, getting some of the dates going on. I'm not sure if I'm getting quite a raisin or something else that's going with it, but there's some more dark fruits that are coming in there with it. I'm getting kind of a whisper of kind of like a wintergreen on the back of the palate. I'm getting some of the rye spice, the earthiness to it, some oak on it, and also getting just a tiny bit of tobacco on it. So I really, really like the complexity of this. I like the way that it transitions. I like the way it kind of starts almost like a bourbon and then hits you kind of like a rye. I think it's neat. And like I said, the first time I'm just holding it in my mouth and I'm just like, okay, I got a real neat mouthfeel on it. And then all of a sudden when I swallowed it, it's like all my taste buds went alive at once. So I think that was pretty cool too. Almost getting a little savory quality to it now too. I know this may sound strange, but maybe like a little butter and sage going on at the back. Got a little bit of chocolate that time. I don't know if just my palate's super sensitive today, but I'm getting a lot of really neat notes off of this. And there's that rye spice creeping back up in there. So I've identified a lot of different things in this. And even with, when you have a younger spirit, sometimes it may seem a little bit harsh, but I think they've really done a good job of blending their rye with a sherry cask where you're getting a lot of different things going on at one time. I don't know the price point on this. I'm really enjoying the experience of it. Thank you very much for that, Eric. I truly appreciate it. But this is a pour that I really, really like. Once I figure out what the price point is, I have to see if I end up buying it again. But I think it's got some super neat complexities to it. It's got a lot of flavors in it. and you can kind of pick them apart over time as you're sipping on it, which I really like. So I like when you get more than just your core flavor sometimes. Not sometimes you can get a bourbon that's just, you know, just your caramel and just your oak, and maybe a couple other things, and it's very well done, and it's blended so well. It's just easy to sip on, and you enjoy it. Not knocking that. I'm at the point where I like the things that I can experiment a little bit with on my palate, that I can find different notes in things, and I can say, "Wow, this is interesting. I want to try this again." You know, it's like that theory that I talked about a few bourbons back is, if you get a bourbon that gives you everything on the first shot, you're probably not going to go on a second date. This one, you're going to go on a second date because there's a lot of little complexities and things there, and as this opens up more, you're interested and you want to try it again. So very interested in this. Definitely going to try this again. May end up on my bar again. Getting closer and closer every day to that 1,000 subscribers. Can't wait for that. We'll have the Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof store pick that's going to be given away. E.H. Taylor small batch, infinity bottle. Plus, I'm sure I'll have some samples or something too. Definitely looking forward to that. One of my favorite things is to let other people try some of the stuff that I have, because to me it's neat that I get to share and I get to meet so many of you, whether it's in person or virtually or what, that we have that kind of connection where, you know, even if I never get to meet you face to face, if you've had some samples that I've given you, you're like, okay, I remember this pour, and it was cool, and there's that moment there where we're just like, hey, we're just a couple of guys having a bourbon, or a lady and a guy having a bourbon. So looking forward to also hanging out with Baker Drinks here. I'm going to be on there for 2 different episodes on some live streams. One, I think a little less than 2 weeks from now, and the other one, 2 more weeks after that. Going to go over 13th Colony and ASW. Looking forward to getting to hang out with Laura and Troy. Of course, Whiskey Wisdoms, they're on Friday nights. I always pop into the chat to at least say hi. Sometimes get on there. I think, if I remember right, they're going to have Baker Drinks on this upcoming Friday night. So Brandon and Matt will be doing a great job with that. Looking forward to that. I hope you guys all have an amazing day. I hope your Monday went by quick. Hardest day out of the week's gone. We're into Tuesday now. You have an amazing day, and God bless.